let's get right into it. You have spent 4 years working for some people, many people would say, the ultimate talk show, Oprah Winfrey. What is the most important thing for an author or entrepreneur to know about pitching to a big national show like that?
It's really, really important to bring new and original information. You have to be able to say something that all the other experts in your field aren't saying. Bring us something life-changing, something that's really going to knock our socks off and make us go, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way, or I hadn't thought of that before. So it really has to be something that's going to get people's attention and make them, as Oprah always said, that aha moment. So bring us that aha moment.
Excellent. Can you give a guest who brought life-changing information, and preferably not a celebrity, while you were on the show?
One of my favorites was Cheryl Richardson. She wrote a book called Take Time for Your Life, which basically just gave us permission to slow down and breathe. Everybody's so rushed and trying to fit a million things into their schedules. And she went over so well, it turned into a whole series about taking time for your life, and we called it Lifestyle Makeovers, about how to, just really enjoy your life rather than rushing through it.
Excellent. What would you say you've learned from booking guests at Oprah that you can share with our audience?
I think the biggest one is to, really understand the show that you're pitching and make sure that the information you're bringing is relevant to that audience, and also is really going to be helping their lives, either saving them time, saving them money, helping them coordinate all of the things they've got going on better, help them understand each other better, their relationships. It really has to be something that's going to affect people's lives in a positive way, and something that they can implement pretty quickly.
Excellent. You've also worked on local and national U.S. talk shows. Give us an example of a good pitch for a national morning show.
Oh, wow, for a national morning show. I had one woman pitch me. She was a fashion designer. And that's another thing to kind of keep in mind when you're pitching is, like I said, we're looking for information that's going to help our audiences. We're not looking to be a commercial for you and your product or for your book. And she really took that to heart. She could have just pitched us her fashion line, but instead she came to us with the perfect fit, all about finding clothes that fit your body. So even though she did have some of her own pieces incorporated into her pitch and into her segment, she brought other people's items as well. So it was a nice mix of items that really did help you get that perfect fit. And her information and her tips were so relevant and so good that every time we had a fashion story on, she became our go-to guest. So you really want to take that into consideration. It's not about you. It's not about what you want to promote. It's about what you can offer that audience. So really think outside the box in those terms.
That's good stuff. What are some of the worst pitches you get?
The worst are the ones that have nothing to do with my show. Really know the show you're pitching.
Absolutely.
I was on a home improvement show and would get sports pitches. And unless we're, redecorating a man cave in a sports theme, that's not going to help me. So really think in those terms. You'd think that would be common sense to know the show you're pitching, but a lot of people just want to get their pitches out there that they're not paying attention to who they're sending what to. So really tailor your pitches to that specific show and that show's audience.
What advice would you have for Canadians pitching to a U.S. network?
Again, I think it comes down to relevance. So figure out how your expertise fits in with what's happening in the news. Figure out how you can make your topic relevant, whether it's using a statistic or a new study that came out. Don't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be this is a Canadian expert pitching a U.S. market. This is about an expert in whatever field it is, pitching a television show. So just make sure that your expertise is matching what the audience is interested in at that time.
What's your favorite kind of pitch?
My favorite kind of pitch. I love it when people set up their pitches for me. In other words, don't just pitch what you think people need to hear, but tell me why they need to hear it. So set up the problem for me. This is the problem that your audience is facing, and this is the catchy, fresh, new, original way that I have that I can help them solve that problem. So it really just kind of drives home how important this is. Again, that's where those studies and statistics come in. If you can tell me 70% of my audience is dealing with this problem, then all of a sudden, like, oh yes, that really is something that I need to be paying attention to and I need to get you on my show for. Whereas if you're just pitching it saying, hey, I can talk about this, and maybe I'm not aware of how big of a problem that is, you know, you could easily just slide across my desk. So just, you know, really make sure that we are understanding the relevance and how, I keep saying that word relevance, I feel very repetitive, but that's because it's important.
Important.
You know, just so that, I'm sorry?
It is important, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's just it. Just make sure that we understand what the problem is that you're here to help us solve.
Well, and to close our conversation, what would you say are the top 3 things that you must have in order even to be considered for a big national show?
Personality is number 1. We need people who can carry a segment, who can be entertaining and engaging while presenting really great information. And then again, that information, it has to stand out from the rest of the crowd. What makes you unique in your field of expertise? What are you saying that's different that everybody else isn't saying? Maybe you're saying something that we wouldn't expect an expert to say. So, you know, really have a way to stand out from everybody else. And I'm going to go back to my favorite word again, relevance. You know, how does your information fit into everyone's everyday life? What can they take from your interview today that they can start implementing in their life starting now? So those would be my top 3.
All right, well, Danette, thank you so much for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule to share with us today.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, thanks for